Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome back. Friday, June 28th. Welcome back to Market Call Recap on the Early Buffett YouTube channel. If this is your first time joining us, I do a kind of a recap chart read of BNN Bloomberg's top picks. I do this every single weekday. So if you like that type of thing, if you like watching people look at charts, you're in the right place. Today we had John Zechner on the show. Well, we didn't have him on the show, but BNN Bloomberg had him on the show. And he had a few interesting picks. He had MDA, CPX, and TXG, Torex Gold. So without further ado, let's dive in, take a look at the S&P, which is, everything's kind of flat on the day today. I have the S&P 500 at 54.81, NASDAQ 19,794, pretty much flat on the day as well. But look at those, top wick candles here, calling an evening star. I don't know what you want to call it, but, it's things reversing here, possibly. We're going to get a bit of a check back to one of the moving averages or one of these areas of support here. Who knows? But I mean, the market's done quite well. Well, at least the S&P and the NASDAQ. I mean, the rest of the broader market has done quite poorly. It's really a Mag 7 market, as a lot of people are saying. So, not sure if this is the start of a little bit of a sell-off here. A little bit of a breather would not be a bad thing. Definitely, it's a feature of the market for sure. Dow Jones, call it 0.15%. Just kind of almost everything's kind of flat on the day. Pretty light day here. So TSX, we're a little bit down too, but TSX has had a little bit of a recovery here after that big, kind of drawdown from the last few weeks. So coming back up to these levels here. So we'll see what happens. Nike getting just absolutely spanked today, which is wild, down to $75, which is, you go back to like June of 2018 levels now. So I don't know where the floor is on this thing. I'm not sure if I would touch it, but they're a good company. Probably gonna, they get hammered on earnings, and they have big gap ups on earnings as well. So, that's what stocks do. They go up and down, and I feel that Nike is probably going to be just fine. Is it going to, fill that gap? I mean, a lot of these gaps just love to be filled, right? So is it going to slowly make its way back up? It all depends on how they execute, right? But technically, it's looking ugly. I mean, there's no real bottom on this thing right now. That's a tremendous gap. There could be some support at the 60 level, which is the COVID lows, which goes back, even further back, December 2017 levels. That could definitely go that way as well. No one knows, right? So we'll see what happens, but definitely keeping an eye on this, because I would probably nibble a bit at 60. Maybe you could pick up a bit of a position here, partial position, then add a little bit more if it keeps going lower. But hard to say. I mean, you look at this guy on the long term though, and Nike is solid, right? So, we'll see what happens with this guy, but definitely something to look at right now. John Zechner, his first pick was in the satellite component area. This thing had a really nice move yesterday, actually. Quite a big move. I mean, I'll take a quick look at this move here. We got, 12% move yesterday. So that's quite nice. We're going to see some resistance around $14 probably, but we're making our way back to this, this distribution area right here. So we'll see. We're back in a new, markup phase. So there's a lot of accumulation going on right here. So we'll see where the future takes this particular space company. I mean, SpaceX, a lot of people are talking about SpaceX IPOing. I read, I heard someone speculating about that. So, a SpaceX IPO next year. So, space is a cool place to be, right? And it's the future. I mean, the Internet of Things is, slowly going into space. You have Elon's Starlink as well. All these need satellites. This is, supports that infrastructure. So probably a good space to be in. And yeah, my chart kind of stops here. And even on TradingView, it's a little bit wonky. So yeah, not sure where this guy's going to go. I mean, there's an argument to be made here about a gigantic cup and handle that didn't quite work out here, but it's hard to say. But they're in a good space, so we'll see where it goes. Capital Power Corp, he sees it as a defensive, low valuation. They do electricity in Alberta. And of course, everyone has to mention AI data centers. I don't know what's going on with the chart with this guy as well, but if we just look at, what we're seeing on the screen here, we're coming back to a moving average right here. So, yeah, I don't know. It's, this is a wonky looking chart. Again, guys, I do this off the cuff, right? So sometimes the charts are a little bit wonky with interactive brokers, but just looking at it kind of objectively here, we're checking back to, probably the 38-ish level. So, keep an eye on that. It's had a good run since, that's only been a couple months here. So looking good, but checking back, which is completely normal, completely healthy for any stock to do. Last but not least, Torex. So I've been watching gold as well. It, the stocks haven't been following the commodity, so there is kind of a catch-up trade to be had here. So we'll see where it goes here. But let's take a look a little bit further out. And, the stock's kind of gone sideways. And sometimes these are fun to trade, right? So you can, can look at your 22 level. And this thing, is quite whippy, on the long term. So, you've been kind of between 8 and 22 for several years now. So where is it going to go next? Who knows? I would say we're probably at the top of the trading range right now. Would probably be, selling calls, lightening up, because it has had a, fairly good run here. If we go back from, what's that, Feb 2024, that's 65%. So quite a nice run. John's bullish on it. There's also the copper byproduct of gold, which is interesting as well. So he sees that as kind of a free call option, so to speak. And all these guys are trading, to a discount of their net asset value. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Torex. I mean, we could, we can probably be safe here to say it's like at the top of its trading range, I would say. So that is all for now. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great weekend. And until next time, we'll see you on Monday.